What's up, everyone? Tyler DeLuca here with the No Cap Space, and as you can tell behind me, the boots have been on the ground all day today here at the Pac-12 Tournament. It is currently 11:30 here at Pacific Time. I ain't built for Pacific Time, but we got hoops to talk, and that's exactly what we're gonna do, because we got two games here today that have been absolutely incredible. I got some press conference coverage for you, but my thoughts first on Oregon State and Stanford. This game was very interesting to me because initially Oregon State was hoping, especially Reagan Beers. Again, like coming into this matchup, and I posted this on Twitter. Make sure you're tapped in on the Twitter. My thoughts were, what is Reagan Beers going to do against Kiki Uriafen and Cameron Brink? And today, she did her thing. She absolutely did her thing. 17 points, 7 rebounds. Not a bad performance at all. And especially early on in this game, the entire team was absolutely hooping in this one, including, when I say that, shooting 61% in the first quarter. And with that, a huge, substantial lead early on in this game against Stanford. But what went wrong? Because Stanford won this game, 66-57. Stanford won. So what went wrong? Well, the offense stopped. The offense stopped. For Oregon State, they went from shooting 61%. They had 24 points in the first quarter. They ended the game with 57. That's not exactly keeping up the pace with what you were doing. They shot 26% from quarter 2 to quarter 4. Not a recipe for success, and not a recipe for keeping up what you were doing in that first quarter. So I was curious, and with the boots being on the ground here for No Cap Space, I went and asked. I asked the offense and the defense with this. Here's what Coach Tyler DeLuca with the No Cap Space. You guys start off that first quarter, 24 points, shooting, I believe it was 61% from the field. Rest of the way, offense kind of slows down. What do you kind of attribute that to?
Oh, they turned the magnets off. They flipped them to Stanford, I think, from that point forward, and it seemed kind of evident to me. I mean, they're a really good defensive team. I thought the game was very physical. It was even physical on the release of the ball sometimes, and what can you do? I mean, I just thought we really battled. Like we kept working. I thought we moved the ball well. We got some good looks. They just didn't go.
Start off that first quarter, 61% shooting, and then the rest of the way they go 26%. For you guys on your end, on the defensive side of the ball, what did you feel shifted that caused them to slow down on that side?
Well, I think one of the things that we were trying to do was, really pick up the pace, always get the outlet high and push the tempo. And I think that, in the beginning of the game, they're fresh. And then maybe as the game goes on, it affects your, if you're playing faster than maybe you're used to, or, you have to get through screens a lot, then you get tired. And I think I think fatigue was a little bit. And plus you're going back-to-back games, which honestly, we're not used to playing. And so I think this was really key. They played quite a few people, but we had 10 people contribute, and I think that was a real key for us.
Yeah, and I'll add to that. I think our coach, Tempe Brown, did a great job on scout. I think they're such a high execution team. Knowing, their key players, what they want to go into is really key for us. So, I'm really proud of Talana, on her ball screen defense. And then honestly, Kiki did a great job on Beers, and I kind of helped and doubled it sometimes. And then Brooke did a great job on Tamia. So. Yeah, they're a really great team, though.
Back row.
There also has to be some credit given here, though, to Stanford, because Stanford went out and did their thing. Specifically, Hannah Jumpa led the way with 20 points, which was not a player that was particularly on my radar coming into this game to kind of be the key factor for one of these teams. But she did her thing. 20 points. She shot very solid. She shot, 4 for 7 from 3, 8 of 13 overall. So she was getting her shots up, and she was getting her shots off. Also, Cameron Brink was 1 assist away from a triple-double. 1 assist away. That would have been the first triple-double in Pac-12 history. That would have been crazy. But 1 assist away. But let's talk about that stat line, because 16 points, 9 assists, 12 rebounds. It would have been incredible. She still was incredible. And now they're in the Pac-12 Tournament final. And who is going to be joining them? USC. And man, that game, double overtime. That's why it's so damn late here. We went to double overtime, an 80-70 win for USC. And man, JuJu Watkins, JuJu Watkins, I've kind of run out of words of what to say. And she even had a moment late in the game. She had one early in the game where she went down. And then late in the game as well, it looked like she landed her left ankle on Lauren Bett's foot. And she checked out of the game. It looked like it was wraps. She was on the bench, towel over her head. The trainers were over there. It didn't look good. And this was in the dying moments of this game. But she checks back in. She tightened up her shoes. She goes into the tunnel. She starts running quick sprints. And next thing you know, she's back in the game and doing JuJu Watkins things. And I asked her about this because I had to know, was there ever even a doubt that she was going to check back into this game and what was going through her head when this all went down? Here's what she had to say.
Tyler DeLuca, no cap space. JuJu, first off, we saw you go down with the ankle. How you feeling? And also, we saw you on the bench. You tie your shoes, you go back in the tunnel, do a little running, and then you check back in. Can you kind of take me through those moments of deciding that you were going to come back in this game and try and win it for your team?
Yeah, I mean, even when I went out, I knew I had to get back in because I think my team needed me. But, I mean, it's just an ankle, nothing I'm not used to. I feel great, ready to play on Sunday. I might be pushing it a little bit.
I did go to watch JuJu at Sierra Canyon High School.
Same thing happened. It's crazy.
It was it the early morning workout? It was like a 6 a.m. workout. And she's in practice. It's like a preseason thing. And she rolls her ankle. And I'm like, first of all, I was worried. And then I'm like, oh, we're here at 6 a.m. and she's going to sit out the rest. And she comes back in it. And I'm like, this kid is not normal, right? Like, she could have sat out. She has played through things before, so I can't say I was surprised.
And I love that story too, from Lindsay, and it shows that the JuJu, obviously the talent is there, but the competitive nature is there too. And speaking of competitive nature, I mean, Charisma Osborne and JuJu Watkins, that matchup, that was real hoops. That was real hoops, y'all. That is what that was, and it was beautiful. Charisma Osborne did her thing too. 21 points in this game, while also that second half defense against JuJu. I mean, JuJu still got her stuff off. Don't get me wrong. I mean, JuJu ended the game with 33 points here. She got her stuff off. But listen, y'all, the defense that Charisma Osborne was playing was absolutely incredible. She was right there with her. At the end of the third quarter, one of my favorite moments from the entire game. It's the clock is ticking down. JuJu's trying to get the ball. There's probably 10 seconds left. Charisma Osborne clamped her up, y'all. And then after the buzzer goes, Charisma slaps the ball out of JuJu's hands and then starts walking to the bench. And then JuJu looks at her, kind of chuckles, and goes, get a load of this guy. And then it just kept heating up. And it's never seemed anything past just, friendly rivalry, Battle of LA. But it was so incredibly good. So I asked Charisma about taking on that responsibility of guarding JuJu Watkins.
Tyler DeLuca, no cap space. Charisma is taking responsibility and being a leader on the court obviously isn't anything new to you with this roster. One of those responsibilities tonight was that kind of one-on-one defensive matchup with JuJu. Can you kind of take me through that matchup? And because especially I feel like in that second half, it really kind of heated up.
Yeah, obviously she's a really good player, and I was just trying to take away her right hand. She likes to go that way a lot, and that's something that we talked about with the scout. And she gets a lot of ball screens, so just trying to navigate that and get help where we can on the backside. So yeah, I mean, it was really fun. It's always fun when there is a good player and I can match up against them. But yeah, I don't know.
And I mentioned here that the physicality of this game was legit, but don't get me wrong, those first two matchups, those first two battles of LA where they split, I mean, they were working. It's a rivalry, y'all. This is a real rivalry. We heard it from some of the OGs that this is a real rivalry. It felt like it tonight, and it felt like it had more. Obviously, we're talking about the last Pac-12 tournament. We're talking about the chance to go play for the last Pac-12 tournament championship that will ever be seen. The last one. It's over after this. It's wraps. And you're going against your biggest rival to do it. The stakes really couldn't be much higher. It would have to be in the championship game for it to be any higher. And you could feel that. So I also asked JuJu about that. What made the difference in this game in comparison to those 2 regular season games, and how cool was it to bring the Battle of LA to Las Vegas?
Tyler DeLuca, no cap space. JuJu, you mentioned a little bit earlier about kind of going through your first March, going through the grind of it. Obviously, these rivalry games are already intense, even in the regular season. For you, what kind of elevated it in this game in comparison to those 2 regular season matchups that upped the intensity even more? Obviously, more stakes on the line, but in the actual game itself, what were the differences that you were feeling?
Yeah, I think a lot comes with like a rivalry, I guess, just to be able to have this opportunity to, like Coach said, bring LA to Vegas. It's just a great atmosphere, and I don't know, to my knowledge, I don't know if that's been done before on this stage, this late in the finals or whatever. But it's just a great game. We know that they bring a lot. We bring a lot too. And so everybody's pumped up. I mean, the goal is to win every time, but I guess when you see familiar faces, that fuels you up a little more too.
Well, y'all, these 2 matchups tonight were incredible, but I'm about to pass out. So we have tomorrow off here in Vegas, but we're still going to have coverage. We're still going to be talking about all the games on Twitter, so make sure you tapped in on Twitter. Make sure you obviously stay tapped in here to YouTube, because we're still going to be covering the Pac-12 tournament. We're going to have boots on the ground for the ending of the Big 12 tournament. The last 2 days, I'll be there. I'm flying straight there after the Pac-12 tournament. So we're going to have boots on the ground at many places as we possibly can, because that's what the No Cap Space is all about, giving you the best coverage for women's basketball possible. So tap in with the Twitter, subscribe and like here on the YouTube, follow on the Substack, and always come tap in and watch some games with us on playback. It's been an incredible time here in Vegas. There's still more to come, so stay tapped into the coverage. I'm Tyler DeLuca, and I'll see you next time.